Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 21st September 2023, brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's current affairs session. So these are all the articles which we are going to analyze in the upcoming slides. Have a look at it. Okay. Why NGT has banned cruise ship in Madhya Pradesh water bodies? So the news is related to National Green Tribunal has passed an order of banning the using the cruise ships in the river which is in Madhya Pradesh. What the National Green Tribunal has said with regard to the decision is that it has said that the water bodies is common for all and it is the benefit for all. So it is the responsibility of the state to take care of the water bodies that is present in the state. And then what is the case is that the case is against operating cruise in Bhopal, Upper Lake and other water bodies. Why? Because the cruise which has been operated in the Upper Bhopal Lake was created by the Bhopal Lake is created by the constructing an earth dam on the perennial river called Kolans. But the cruise ship which was used there, that is particularly inside the lake, is polluting the not only the lake but also the environment because of the disposal of solid as well as liquid waste, and then the pollution that has been released from the exhaust or the engines of the cruise vehicles, as a result of which the amphibians and the aquatic ecosystem is getting disturbed. This is what the charge against the usage of cruise ship in the Upper Bhopal Lake. What the Madhya Pradesh government has said is that, see, the waiting lounge as well as the other thing which has been, other infrastructure which has been created across the lake is for temporary in nature, and there is not because of the implementation of the cruise ship in the Bhopal Lake, the socio-economic development across the region will be taking place, and at the same time there is no solid or liquid waste is getting discharged in the lake. This is what the argument by Madhya Pradesh government. But NGT has appointed has asked the Central Pollution Control Board to prepare a report regarding the condition of the lake after usage of the cruise vehicles. What the Central Pollution Control Board has said is that the cruise sound box, whose noise level is way higher than the permissible limit, which may permanently disturb the aquatic ecosystem that is present in the surrounding, and then there is no arrangement to stop the spillage of oils which might be taking because of the usage of the fuels inside the cruise vehicles, and then there is no proper vent provided for the exhaust gas as well as the discharge of liquid waste in the aquatic ecosystem. So this is what the report being given by Central Pollution Control Board, and then what the government again argued is that, see, it is the cruise vehicle, it is not a marine or trade vehicle which has the enormous capacity to get to pollute or damage the ecosystem. But what the National Green Tribunal has said is that, see, ships with more than 12 passengers is within the ambit of the statute. What is the statute is? Environment Protection Act 1986. So this is what the judgment been, which was recently passed by the National Green Tribunal seated in Bhopal. So they have they restricted the usage of cruise vehicle inside the river of the Madhya Pradesh. So how the news is being related to examination is, under prelims the news is related to general issues on environmental ecologies, biodiversity, climate change that does not require subject specialization. Similarly, under mains it will be coming under GS paper 3, conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and environmental impact assessment. So let's have a look into what does the National Green Tribunal is. See, it is the statutory body established under NGT Act, that is National Green Tribunal Act 2010. Why it has been introduced is, the National Green Tribunal has been formed for effective as well as faster disposal of cases which involves environment as well as conservation of forest and other natural resource which comes under the ambit of environmental laws. And then it is the specialized body which contains the environmental specialist who could able to deal specifically with the environmental related issues, and they are not bound by the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. And so the time limit for completion of the particular case by the NGT is 6 months, and it has the New Delhi as its headquarters, and then Bhopal, Pune, Kolkata and Chennai are the other regional offices of National Green Tribunal. See, this is what the details in relation to National Green Tribunal is about. Okay, let's discuss about what the cruise tourism in India. It is because of the increasing demand along with the rising disposable income, the demand for the cruise tourism is getting raised in India. And then right now the government has divided the circuits, the theme, the cruise based circuits into 4 themes. First is Gujarat pilgrimage tours, second is West Coast culture and scenic tours, and then in South Coast it is Ayurvedic wellness tours, and then in East Coast it is heritage tourism. Likewise, like under these themes, the region of the cruise tourism which is going to be developed by the government has been divided, and then increase cruise passenger traffic from 0.4 million, that is 40 lakh to 4 lakh to 40 lakh at present, and similarly the economic potential might go up to from $100 million to 5.5 billion. And then what is the requirement for the cruise tourism is that there need to be infrastructure upgradation, more importantly the port led infrastructure development, and then the fees should be rationalized so that the people could be able to access the cruise tourism. And then the the cruise industries which are providing the tourism activities in India could also be providing the tourism related activities because of the decreased regulations as well as decreased fees and other related things, other governance related things. And then removing ousting charges and priority to cruise ships. So these are all the things which are in different stages of implementation to promote the cruise industry, in cruise tourism related industry in India. What is the advantage that the cruise tourism brings is, it will be first promoting the tourism industry in India. Secondly, because of that cruise tourism, there will be revamp of terminals in the port. And then because of the development of cruise tourism, there will be development of regulatory environment related to the cruise tourism will also be taking place. So as a result of which, if the cruise tourism related regulation is going to get developed means, then the regulation will encompass the other surrounding environment as well as the surrounding aquatic ecosystem, so that the cruise activities does not affect the aquatic ecosystem as well as other biodiversity that is present beside the cruise ship. And then cabotage relaxation regime will also get enhanced. See, the cabotage is nothing but a particular ship traveling from one place to another. If the particular ship is going to traveling from one place to another, means there will be more number of paperwork and other regulatory things will be there. And because government is aiming to promote the cruise tourism in India, the cabotage related regulation will be eased. This easiness will be reflected in the trade as well as commerce ships. Those ships which are used for trade as well as commerce will also get relaxed in terms of cabotage, and then there will be discounted tariff policy. Similarly, marketing engagement with the government could engage with the cruise operator for its marketing needs. So these are all the advantages the cruise tourism, more importantly the cruise shipping industry will be bringing. So what we needed to study further is, we should know about the recently released draft national cruise tourism policy in India. Secondly, you should also know about the world's longest MV Ganga Vilas cruise ship, which was launched recently in India. And then, since the cruise ship is going to be used in the river as well as the ocean besides the India, we should also know about the river systems in India. Conference of National Human Rights Institution. See, the National Human Rights Commission has pitched for the need of NHRI, National Human Rights Institution for Asia Pacific region. And then why he has pitched for the National Human Rights Institution for Asia Pacific is that to form a joint strategy to solve challenges in areas of climate change, child transfer, and then child sexual abuse material and other crimes that has been taking place in the cyberspace. See, these are all the areas which does not have borders. The crime related to these areas does not have borders. So by combining all the National Human Rights Commission across the Asia Pacific region as a team, we could able to overcome the human rights abuse that has been happening across the different streams. So that is why the National Human Rights Commission chairman has pitched for the need of National Human Rights Institution for Asia Pacific region. And how the news is being related to examination is, under prelims, it is related to Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, Panchayat Raj, public policy and rights issues. Similarly, under mains, it is related to GS paper 2, polity, statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies. See, okay, let's have a look into the National Human Rights Commission. It is the statutory body which formed under the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993, and it was created on the line of Paris Principles 1991, which is related to human rights, and it has chairman, 5 members and then 7 deemed members. Here the chairman will be appointed by central government, chairman will be appointed by president based on the recommendation of the committee which has members of Prime Minister as well as Ministry of Home Affairs as well as leader of opposition party, so based on this committee recommendation only, the president will be appointing the chairman, and then it has 5 members, and the chairman should be the Chief Justice of he should be either the retired Chief Justice of India or the Supreme Court judge. And in the case of 5 members, the 3 members should be having the practical knowledge in relation to the human rights implementation, and the other 2 members need to be the Supreme Court judge or Chief Justice of High Court, and the other 7 deemed members are the other National Commission's member. For example, the National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, National OBC Commission, National Commission for Women, and National Commission for Child Rights. So, like this, the other commissions are also part of the 7 deemed members. So, combining all this is the constitution of the National Human Rights Commission, and as I said, the chairman is being appointed by the president, and he holds the chair for 3 years or until 70 years of age. So the function of the National Human Rights Commission is to inquire into complaint which it gets. Similarly, it can intervene in any proceedings if it comes to know that there has been a violation of human rights of the particular person who has been involved in the proceedings is there, means the Human Rights Commission will be involved in, and they could able to visit any jail, and they could look up the condition of the inmates, those who are in the jail, and then they should review the law, it could be constitution as well as the other statutory law, and then recommend if there is any kind of improvement needed to further the human rights cause. And then they also be studying the other international treaties, and they will be recommending it to the government for its implementation, and then they will also be recommending it to the government to inculcate, to use certain clauses or the article which is very important or very which could enrich the human rights of the particular person to be included in other statute or constitutional laws, so that it might safeguard as well as enhance the protection of the human rights of the citizens. And then human rights, they will also be involved in promoting the human rights literacy, and then they will be encouraging the efforts by NGOs or any other civil societies whose most important cause is to promote the human rights as well as their reduce the related human rights abuse that is happening. So this is what the function of National Human Rights Commission is about, and it has some challenges. What is that it suffers from limited resource. It could be either fund or the human resource, as a result of which, because of the limited number of human resource, it could not able to handle all the cases efficiently, as a result of which the backlog of cases increases, and then the NHRC's decision is recommendatory in nature. Similarly, it has limited jurisdictions. Why it is it could not able to hear any cases which is older than 1 year, or the cases which is vague. So this kind of limitation is also the NHRC is having. So what is the way forward to overcome this challenge is that there need to be regular training as well as capacity building for the people, those who have been involved in the NHRC should be made, and then the complaint process with relation to the NHRC need to be simplified. Similarly, the NHRC needed to be vested with more power so that their recommendation will be implemented in the ground, so that the human rights abuse as well as any other human rights, any other thing which is happening against the human rights will be cut as well as neglected from the society. And the timeline for the investigation should be strictly followed so that the backlog of the case could be reduced, and then the institution should be having the transparency as well as the accountability. The transparency as well as the accountability mechanism of the NHRC should be enhanced. So this is what the overall analysis in relation to National Human Rights Commission is about. And what needed to be studied further is, we should know about what are all the structure, function, as well as the challenges and way forward of the other commissions. It could be either constitutional commissions or the statutory commissions. Secondly, we should also know about the fundamental rights, the DPSP, and then we should also know about the National Crime Record Bureau. So these are all the other things which we needed to be aware of. After a dry August, September showers ease concerns over sugar supply attack. See, the August last month was the driest month in the year, where nearly 36% of rainfall is deficit in the month, and it has been compensated in the September month because of the higher than the expected rainfall. And this is the good positive thing for the sugarcane production. Because why? Because is most importantly, during this August as well as September month period only, the sugar crops will be transforming itself from the shoots to matured sugarcane, so that during the transfer, if there is during the transfer from the shoot to the matured sugarcane, if the geographical as well as the environmental condition is favorable only, means the chemical composition inside the sugarcane will be very healthy. The molasses as well as other thing which is required for producing the sugar, as well as any other thing needed to be extracted from the sugarcane, will be in the correct quantity. If there is any kind of disturbance in the surrounding or the geography during this period, then the sugarcane yield will be very less. And how the news is being related to examination is, under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, as well as social sector initiatives. Similarly, under mains, it is related to major crops, cropping pattern in various parts of the countries, different types of irrigations and irrigation system, storage, transport and marketing of agriculture produce, and issues relating to issues and related constraints, e-technology in the aids of farmers, which comes under GS paper 3, agriculture. Sugarcane is the, so okay, let's look into the details of the sugarcane. Sugarcane is the tropical as well as the subtropical crops. It grows well in hot and humid climate with a temperature between 21 to 27 degrees Celsius and an annual rainfall between 75 as well as and 100 centimeter of rainfall is required for healthy growth of a sugarcane. Similarly, it could be grown on variety of soils, and India is the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil, and sugarcane is the main source of sugar, jaggery, kanzari and molasses. And in India, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are the major sugarcane producing states. Okay, let's have a look into the sugarcane price, which is announced by central government before the harvesting season. It is called as fair remunerative price. It is the price at which the mills needed to buy the sugarcane from the farmers, and it is recommended by Commission for Agriculture Cost and Price, and it is approved by the cabinet. After the recommendation, the cabinet committee of economic affairs will be the deciding authority of the fair and remunerative price across India. And what is the challenges the sugar industry in India is facing is that because of the erratic monsoon which is happening because of the rising global warming and then the climate change, the productivity in terms of the sugarcane as well as the related industry is getting affected. Similarly, the sugarcane cost in the global market is very cheap and compared to the domestic price, as a result of which the sugarcane industries have less incentives to export the sugarcane or the sugarcane output or the sugar to the global market, and then it suffers because of less adaptation of technology and then lower productivity. Similarly, low sugar recovery rate is the another important challenges for sugar industry in India. So what need to be studied further is, we should know about what is minimum support price. Similarly, we should know about what is tariff as well as rabi crop, and then we should also know about what is PDS system. Most importantly, we should also know about historical aspect of PDS system in India, which is available in the ministry's website itself. So this is what the analysis in relation to the news. Food animal tag for the northeast Mithun, a leg up for its meat. See, the food animal tag has been given by FSSAI to Mithun, a bovine indigenous animal native to the northeastern states, and the tag is, as I said, given by FSSAI. And how the news is being related to examination is, under prelims it is related to economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics and social sector initiatives. Similarly, under mains it is related to issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies and MSPs, PDS, and objectives, functionings, limitations, revamping, issues of buffer stocks and food securities, technology missions, economics and of animal dairy, which comes under GS paper 3 agriculture. And about Mithun, it is the bovine animal which has cultural as well as ritual significance in the northeastern states, and its scientific name is Bos frontalis, which is a ruminant species of the Bovidae family. Traditionally, it will be slaughtered only during the special seasons or the special occasions, and it is the semi-domesticated animal and it is reared in the free forest ecosystem, and it can grow up to 400 to 650 kg, and it is the state animal of Arunachal Pradesh as well as Nagaland. So this is what the details in relation to the Mithun is about. So what is the significance of giving the food animal tag is that it will be raising the economic benefit for farmers, because the Mithun could be hereafter branded as premium meat, and it could be able to sold in the market at the higher price. So it will be adding to the revenue of the farmers, and because of the economic benefit the Mithun bovine animal is going to have in the near future, it will be sustainably managed by the farmers, as a result of which the decline in the Mithun population will be arrested. Similarly, it could act as nutritional additives for the populations or the consumers who are going to consume the product. And then because of the reduction in the decline of Mithun bovine animal, its related traditional as well as cultural practices will be safeguarded, and then it has huge amount of export potential, which in turn could able to not only enable the farmers to earn certain revenues, but also it could help the central government to earn the income in the form of forex reserve, forex currency. And let's have a look into FSSAI important detail. It is the autonomous body which comes under Food Safety and Standard Act 2006 under Ministry of Health as well as Family Welfare, and it will be laying down the scientific standards for the food which is sold across India, and then it will be regulating the manufacturing of the food products in terms of their storage, distribution, sale, import, so, to ensure the safety of the product to the consumers. And then it is headed by chairperson who is appointed by the central government, and it is headquartered in New Delhi. And the challenges for food processing industry is that because of the land fragmentation in the agriculture sector, the output that is obtained from the particular land is very less, as a result of which it could not contribute more to the development of food processing sector. Similarly, the climate variation across the country, which is triggered by the climate change as well as the global warming phenomenon, the agriculture productivity is getting disturbed. So which in turn the raw material or the input for the food processing sector is also getting disturbed. And then there is poor laboratory quality standards across the food processing industry is another major challenge in the industry. And then low access to credit hinders the development of food processing industry in India. Similarly, poor marketing intelligence of the food processing industry, more importantly those industries which is run by MSMEs, suffers because of poor marketing intelligence. And these are all the challenges. And what is the steps being taken by the government to overcome these challenges is that first is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, which is the holistic or the comprehensive development of food processing industry scheme, and then mega food park scheme to ensure that the food processing industry flourishes in India. These are all the schemes being implemented by government to overcome these challenges and to ensure that the food processing industry in India is sustainable. So what need to be studied? We should know about Indian Council for Agriculture Research. So under which ministry it is coming, and what is the function of it, and what are all the other programs or any other new initiatives being implemented by it, we should be knowing it. Secondly, we should also know about the Himalayan yak. What is the physical features and what is the geographical boundary or the area in which it is present. Why? Because we should learn Himalayan yak is that the food animal tag was recently given to Himalayan yak also. And then we should also know about the geography of the northeast. So these are all the other things which we needed to be aware of. Over 42% of Indian graduates under 25 remains unemployed, according to the report released by Asim Premji University Center for Sustainable Employment, where they have said is that even though the overall unemployment rate has reduced to 6.6% from 8.7%, then percentage of people under 25 age who have been unemployed is getting increased. And the other data which is released by the university says, what it is saying is that 60% of the women has been self-employed after the pandemic. Before the pandemic, it is only 50% of women are the self-employed, and after pandemic it has increased, and it shows that rising the women's labor force. And then what is the reason for increased unemployment rate under 25 years of age? Is because increased aspirations as well as minimum wage expectation among the graduates is very high. So they are waiting for the job which satisfies their aspirations as well as the wage as well as their wage expectations. So that waiting period is called. So that is the reason. What is one of the reason why the unemployment rate under 25 years of age is very high. Secondly, most of the graduate level, most of the people who have graduated comes from the high income household, as a result of which they afford to remain unemployed. So that these are the two reasons why, the main reasons why the people The youngsters under the 25 years of age remains unemployed. Most of the nearly 42% of the graduates under the 25 years of age remains unemployed. And then the upward trend for intergenerational mobility is stronger for general categories, but in the case of scheduled caste as well as scheduled tribe categories, it is weaker. So that is the outcome of the result of the report released by Asim Premji University Center for Sustainable Employment. And how the news is related to examination is, under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty inclusion, demographics and social sector initiatives. And under mains, it is related to GS paper 3, Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment. Okay, let's have a look into the periodic labor force survey, which was introduced by National Statistics Office in 2017 to release the unemployment as well as unemployment related data at frequent intervals, and it is being released by NSOs to measure the, as I said, unemployment indicators like labor force participation. Labor force participation is the total percentage of people who are in labor force, which includes labor. It includes the person who is looking for the job or who has already have the job. So it is the percentage of labor force compared to the overall population is called as labor force participation rate. Similarly, worker population ratio is the percentage of people remain employed compared to the overall population, and then unemployment ratio is the percentage of people remain unemployed compared to the overall labor force. So this is what the details in relation to the indicators are about. Okay, what is the challenges for employment in India is that lack of adequate jobs. From the previously you could I have said is that because of the lack of adequate job which satisfy the ambitions as well as the minimum wage expectation of the youngsters is also one of the main reason for the unemployment rate under 25 years of age in India. Secondly, low skill among the youngsters is also acting as hindrance for accessing the job. And then gender disparity or the injustice that is happening against the women at different sectors hinders the participation of the women labor force in the employment. And then thirdly, technology as well as infrastructure divide across the region hinders the access to infra as well as the technology which could able to develop a particular person into a fully skilled resource which is very suitable for getting into a job. And then misalignment with the industry. See, right now the education pattern as well as the syllabus are not in tune with the corresponding industry's needs. Because of this misalignment, the unemployment rate is higher. And then what is the types of unemployment rate is the structural unemployment. See, whenever the economy is transferring itself from one phase to another phase, there will be a structured unemployment will be happening. Similarly, if the economy is in recession or it is facing any heat, means there will be some unemployment will be taking place. If it is facing a boom, means it will be employing more number of people. Such kind of cycle which is happening because of the economic cycle is called as cyclical unemployment rate. And seasonal unemployment is the job will be available only in particular season, and in our remaining part of the season, the particular person will be remaining unemployed. For example, the agriculture, where most of the people remain unemployed in the off season. And then frictional unemployment, it is the time lag between a person leaving a job and then getting into the another job. That time lag is called as during the time period he will be remaining unemployed. Such a time period is called during this time period a person is remaining unemployed means it is called as frictional unemployment. And then technological unemployment, because of the upgradation of the technology, and then certain people could not able to cope up with the upgradation of the technology, so that they could not able to develop the skill in tune with the technological upgradation. Such kind of person will be chucked out from the jobs, or they will be or they will be made unemployed because of the technological advancement. And then open unemployment is the overall unemployment that is present across the country. So these are all the different types of unemployment in India. And what need to be studied further is we should know about schemes to increase the employment. What are the schemes being introduced by government to promote the employment in India? Secondly, we should also know about National Education Policy 2020. Similarly, we should also know about MSMEs, which is the main contributor for the employment as well as other manufacturing activities in India. Fourthly, we should also know about what are all the employment challenges being faced in agriculture sectors. So apart from the different types of unemployment what we have studied, there is another type called disguised unemployment. This is what the challenges, the disguised unemployment challenges is what the agriculture sector is facing right now. So these are all the other things which we needed to be aware of. Okay, let's have a look into today's practice prelims question. So the question which you are seeing right now on the board is the today's prelims question. I want those students, those who are watching the current affairs session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. Okay, with this we have reached the today's end of the session. So thank you.